Well, Brad, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here. First time for the new year, 2019. Treating you well so far?
Yeah, good so far.
Absolutely, yeah. Just wish that we could, get spring to stay here for now,
Yeah.
right? As we look outside the.
Well, Monday was a beautiful day.
Yes.
Let's just remember that day.
Remember that. Yes, 1 week ago was a beautiful day, and then the snow came before the
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, we haven't seen snow yet.
But we haven't yet. But it's coming.
It's great.
And it's actually, kind of ties into our first topic here, which was the uniform addressing proposal. You're going to be picking that up here in just a few weeks. Of course, the whole reason it's carried over this far is because we had the April blizzard and snow didn't melt until May last year.
Right. No, that's exactly right. So we've got to get a little better cooperation from the weather in order to get this accomplished by the 1st of July, but we still think we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to be done with this.
Give us a reminder what's left so far as far as the process goes.
Well, we got the west side. Really, it's the north side of west of Wausau that hasn't been done yet. Mm-hmm. So we've worked our way out all the way to McMillan. Now we're working our way all the way back. That's the way I remember it. And then we have Rib Mountain left,
yes,
which will require a decision from the Supreme Court and then an analysis of that, and then we'll go forward from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because last time we had talked to you, you were just preparing, to kind of go before the Supreme Court to make the arguments on both sides. Any idea then of when we might see a decision on that matter?
No, I know people in our system have an idea, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to worry about it until it shows up, and then we'll read it and figure out what we do next.
And then just exactly who will be making that final decision then when that comes down?
The county board.
County board will. Okay. And remind us again on the process of this, because it could go one of, I believe if I remember right, 2 or 3 ways. Is that correct? There could be it could be all done, it could be partially done, or it could be not done at all, right?
Yes, those are the 3 options. It could be, if the county's position prevails, we will do Rib Mountain wall to wall. Mm-hmm. If the town's position prevails, we may decide, or the board may decide, we don't want to do it at all. We don't want to do part of of town, and we want to do either all or nothing. Or we could decide that we're going to do a part of it, maybe west of the river, or excuse me, it would be east of the river and not west of the river. Well, one of the two. We use the river as dividing line.
Sure.
But I don't actually have any idea what we might decide ahead of time. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We'll stay tuned for that. But just for those that are maybe waiting yet for that new address, just give us a reminder as well of the process that this has gone through, because it's as soon as the sign's in front of your yard, and that's your new address.
That's when you have a new address. Yeah. If you don't see a sign, you still got the old address. And by the way, your other address will be good for a while yet too.
Yeah. So.
But you need to go around, and I know I just talked to somebody today, and they said, well, geez, the credit card company said, well, you moved. No, we just got a new address. And the person at the end of the line was confused by that. Well, they'll get over it.
Yeah.
They did get their new address. Their bill will be sent to the new address. And sometimes you just got to work out these issues one at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Take it as it comes, right?
Yeah, take it as it comes.
The
Others have done it. The east
Yes.
side's done.
And
They're getting their mail. Everything's good.
packages are coming and the complaints have tapered off then. Is that correct?
You know what? When you do something new, there's always going to be problems.
Right. Absolutely.
It's never going to be perfect, especially when you have 130,000 people involved.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be hiccups along the way, but once it's there, and
we're good.
And we're good.
Nobody will remember we did it 5 years from now.
That is true. That is true. Although maybe Google has a hard time remembering
Google,
things
yeah.
sometimes. But the other thing we were going to ask about is the juvenile detention center, the youth prison that the county runs. Last time we talked to you on that, you were thinking you maybe keep it open through at least July and see what happens from there. But we've gotten some news from the governor's front on that.
We're going to talk today at the Public Safety Committee about what the implications are of the governor's proposal to fully integrate the 17-year-olds back into the juvenile justice system, and whether that would require that we keep the facility open and also provide new revenue for us that we can use to, remember, we want to open another police dispatch channel. So it all might just work out for us.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it worked out easily or in a linear fashion. Nothing ever does because there's a lot of people involved. But I think we have the possibility here that this is all going to work out. We keep our facility open, which is always our first choice.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a facility that the county owns and runs, and it's been kind of leased out, I guess, if you will, to other counties in the area as
Right.
well, and it's been something that can actually help these kids, if I understand right.
Yes. Now, one thing I want to correct on the introductory question, you referred to it as the prison. Lincoln Hills is a prison for kids. Ours is a jail for kids.
Sure.
So there's, maybe to the public doesn't make any difference, but there's a big difference between jail and prison.
Right.
So,
True.
so Lincoln Hills is going to be slated to be closed, and some of the counties are going together to regionally run a kids' prison, but we're not one of those counties.
Okay, gotcha. So the jail facility then.
Yes.
Talk about what kind of impact that has then on those that are sent there.
Well, it's more of an educational institution. It certainly has Wausau Schools has a teacher present. It is a correctional in the true meaning of that more than a punitive place. And we have the idea is to send a strong message to somebody that their behavior needs to change, but not to where we're throwing away the key and we've kind of given up on you. Not that at all. This is much more of a correctional kind of setting where the kids they're in trouble, but they're treated with a great deal of respect. And the goal is to work with parents and schools and get this worked out and restore them back to where they were before.
And there's actually data to back this up that this has a pretty good success rate as opposed to sending them to a different institution.
Right,
Correct?
it does. It does. The more deep end you get, the higher the recidivism rates are because you're talking about something where you're now talking, your reference group becomes the other kids who were there, and they've actually done things that are more serious or have more dysfunctional lives. So what we want to do is we want to keep them in as limited a facility as possible, where their needs are met, and the goal is always to get them back in the community, get them on families, and get them back on the right track.
Absolutely. Well, we'll wait to see what happens with this, and hopefully we'll be able to keep this facility open, and as you've said, get that other police channel open to kind of clear up the communication traffic between departments.
Right.
And one more thing before we let you go, the county has been taking a stance on the Indigenous Peoples Day proclamation that the city of Wausau has actually also been taking a stance on. I know this is something that is very near and dear to you.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about where we're at with this proclamation that would for lack of a better term, overwrite Columbus Day in the county, correct?
I don't know if override is the right term. I think it would make the same day that is Columbus Day, which I believe is a state and federal holiday. It would make it Indigenous Peoples Day here in Marathon County. We've done this with other events, so I think both would be going on simultaneously.
Okay.
And it's gotten a lot of discussion at the diversity panel. We'll go from there to the Education and Extension Committee. They will consider it, and then it would be possible that they forward that to the county board. It isn't going to occur till like October, so we've got plenty of time to really think it through. Right now at the diversity panel, myself and others are just learning about the history of Native Americans here in Marathon County. We have a relatively small population, but an important population. But we've been learning about the boarding schools that were in Lac du Flambeau and Kashina, where young mostly boys, I understand, were educated, really allowed only to speak in English, and were encouraged to relocate in Minneapolis and Minnesota rather than returning to their tribe. So, understanding that and understanding the history of that, which I didn't learn in high school. I don't know if other people learned that in high school, but I didn't learn any of that, is an important part, and we hope that we can encourage other people to learn the history of the indigenous population and the European settlers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is, one of the things I've talked to those on the committee about, and they've said there's history the way that it's remembered in one way, and then there's history the way that it's remembered the other way.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that both, all sides of the story are told for years to come, and that's really what it seems like this is about.
I'm very interested in history in particular and do a lot of reading, and everything I learned in high school was accurate, but there was more to it. You know, it was a very superficial, date-oriented, major concept-oriented thing, and you know, we spent a lot of time with the Pilgrims and how well they got along with the natives, but we missed a lot of other stuff that was very important.
Just sometime look up the history of West River, South Dakota, if you like, because there are certainly more than one sides of that story.
Oh, is
as
that right?
well. Yes.
I remember reading "Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee."
Yes.
And, you know, we read that in college, and it was like, wow. And then I know there are other accounts that are very different in it with the same point, but they're very different focus and very different perspectives.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we appreciate the insights on that as well, Brad. And I know you've got a very busy weekend planned as well, so we'll let you go until next time. Again, always appreciate the time and appreciate the service.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping over.